We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. It is Monday. We are recording Sunday night, and we have the good fortune of having Will with us. You know, Will's got some shit to talk about. He's got some good news and he's got some bad news.
Yeah.
The bad news is the obvious news. The good news is his team won the World Series. So great for
Yeah,
that.
if you can see, I'm tired. It was a long, it was, it's one thing I would say that I've always said baseball's life because understand you could fail 70% in baseball and um, be a star.
Yeah.
But the one thing about baseball that they prove every time, it's a team sport that the lowest end guys make as big as impact of any one of the stars.
Right.
And people keep talking about Dodgers are ruining baseball, and I think that's also that bullshit is an example for what's going on now. We'll touch on that later if I remember. But it was just I come to the top of the ninth. I'm going. It was a nice try, guys. You weren't hitting the ball. They just, but they stuck with it and they played their game. And the Blue Jays. I'll say this, and for all you out there, because one thing about it is I got a couple of my followers going, just sending me messages, just congratulations on your team. Well, that was kind of cool. But one thing I will say is that the sad thing is that if your team is not in the playoffs and you do a video celebrating that the other team lost, thinking that you won something, you're a
Yeah.
loser. Okay. And the worst ones were the Yankee fans talking about the Blue Jays because the Blue Jays whipped their asses in the
Yeah.
playoff, and they were just, and Vladimir Guerrero was making fun of the Yankees lose, which you did. So I'm watching videos of Yankee fans celebrating the Blue Jays, and I just I want to say to you guys right now, the Blue Jays were a grapple. That
Yeah.
team played contact baseball with our pitching staff that have been blowing through the playoffs with the Dodgers pitching staff. They were contact, they were tough, they didn't have no give. Trust me, that World Series was won by inches, either
Yeah.
at the plate or that last ball, center field ball was caught by Andy Paez. You guys are a good team. That was a grapple. The year before, the Yankees were a joke
Yeah.
because the scouting report on the Yankees, and they got all butthurt about it, was if we get the ball in play, their fielding is so bad, we'll win. And that's what happened in Game Five. Do you remember that? The drop ball, not covering
Yeah.
the base. So to you Yankee fans celebrating the Blue Jays, we skunked the Dodgers skunked you in five. They had to grapple with that team for seven. So
Exactly.
a lot of Dodger fans like myself are going, this one means more because we beat a really good team. The Yankee
Absolutely.
one, the Yankees basically was, get in line. They were not that good.
Yeah.
So if you're celebrating someone else's loss of your team, don't do that. You look
Well,
dumb. You
I'm a
look
little
dumb.
surprised. I'm a little surprised, Will, that you're not as excited as I thought you would be about the Dodgers winning because you were. Yeah,
Oh,
we could go an hour on this if you wanted to,
no, we
but
can
we
go on
aren't
hard.
going to
No,
do it.
it's not that I'm not surprised. It's just like I'm still, to be honest.
I was being
w-
sarcastic.
No, I know you're being sarcastic. Sorry, but honestly, it's because when they turned the double play to end the game, I didn't think the game was over. I thought there was one more inning because
Oh
that's
wow.
how tough that was. But yeah, I'm happy again, guys. I've been a Dodger fan since age 8, 50 plus years of Dodgers, and I've been lucky to see the '81 series after all those years of getting knocked by the Yankees, the '88 series, which is still unbelievable, and then had to wait to 20. But I'm lucky to see 5 championships in my lifetime, which is good. But that's a good organization, and we're going to talk about economics. So let me just bring this an example. Like I said,
Well,
baseball's life. Go ahead.
let me
Go
just
ahead.
do some housekeeping before we
Sure,
do
sure.
that.
Go ahead. Mhm.
In one of the previous podcasts, I said, hey, I'm going to take questions, comments, opinions, whatever, via text message, and my intention was to have it sent to my tablet, not to give you my personal phone, but to my tablet. And as it turns out, that doesn't work. I don't know why. I can text my tablet, but apparently nobody else can. So what I did is I went and got one of those free text apps that's on
Mhm.
my phone. So now you can text me with questions, comments, whatever. It's not my personal phone, but it is a number that you can text your questions and comments to. That number is 952 522 1399. I'll repeat it one more time. And then at the end of the show, I will do it again. So be sure to grab a pen if you haven't got one now. 952 522 1399. You can text comments, questions, whatever you like to that number, and I'll give it out at the end of the show so that
That'd be
we
cool.
make sure you have it. So
Right.
I interrupted. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Will.
it's fine. No, that's it. Housekeeping that must be done. No, I was talking because we're dealing with an economy right now run by incompetent oligarchs. They
Yeah.
just keep all the money. They don't want to put money into the country. That's what happened. It used to be that business or manufacturing had a really big R&D departments. They would build more products. People would be more workers, but that changed when it became about stockholders and buybacks and stock prices and just money, cash on hand, not being economically viable for everyone. And the one thing like I said, baseball's life. There's going to be a lockout on baseball in 2027. Why? Because the owners want a salary cap. And they keep turning to the Dodgers going, see, they bought all the players. It's not true. What it is the Dodgers know how to build a winning system, winning culture. They keep putting money back in their system. Their young
Right.
players keep coming up. Will Smith, who hit the winning home run last night, it's a Dodger product. He wasn't bought on free agency. Came up through the system. But the point I'm saying is that what owners are saying is that, yeah, we need to protect, you need to give us money, you need to protect us from the players, from the workers getting too much
Right.
money. But the issue is that they don't want to put money into the teams. Look up any of the losing teams like the Rockies and stuff. They are reluctant to put money in because it
Now,
gets
see,
the
that
garbage.
makes no sense. That makes no sense, though, because if you look at it and you give the owners all the money, it should trickle down, right? It should
Yeah,
fucking trickle down.
right. That's the principle. And what they're trying to do is is make players fix their mistakes.
Yeah.
And you can talk about like all the mistakes the Red Sox did with Mookie Betts. Players who are on the Dodgers were rejected by other players. But the point is, they put 73% of the Dodgers' profit or operating costs are payroll. But they
Yeah.
get money in from other things, so they know how to build a winning culture. That's why they're consistent. The point is, the economy right now is run by a bunch of companies that don't want to put back into their workers.
Right.
All right. They don't want to put back into the business and give people a living wage. Why? Because they just want to squeeze one more dollar. And they honestly think that, like the owners do, that players don't matter. Owners matter, which is bullshit. You know that. I know that. And that's
But
what they're doing here.
here's a good analogy. If you're a farmer and farmers are
Mhm.
having trouble now, and you plant a bunch of seeds, but you don't want to spend the money to fertilize it, you don't want to spend the money to weed it, you don't want to spend the money to water it, the shit's going to die, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all that money you were hoping to make by not putting it into the product and the development of the product is going to cost you money ultimately. And that's what I've always said about
Mm-hmm.
this particular economy. The backbone of our taxes, the backbone of this country is the middle class. If you keep stealing from the middle class, eventually, economically, this country is going to be fucking barren.
And they, it's sad to watch it because they think they're winning right now.
Yeah,
And the biggest, I mean, you can watch the craziness going in New York City with all the money they're putting in to prevent Mondami from winning the election, which he's going to do.
yeah.
And he's asking is for a 2% raise on the most rich people, on the richest people and corporations in New York.
And look at
2%.
how And look at how hard they're fighting for that
And they're
2%.
fighting for
They
it
want it.
because, yeah,
They don't want a lot of money. They want all the money. That's
all
what
the
they want.
money. I mean, and that's the thing. They don't want, and they come up, and so what they do, the fear tactics, fear, but I mean, it's all socialism and that. No, it's not. It's common fucking sense.
Yeah.
But we've been fed 45 fucking years of Reaganomics, trickle down theory that has never, ever worked. It's never worked. No, tell me how that has helped the economy. It hasn't. The rich got
Never
richer, the
has.
poor got poorer, and except for certain times of democratic leadership, we've been finding economic problems under every Republican presidency.
Right.
Look it up, guys. It's the truth. Sorry. And don't bring in Carter because Carter was picking up after the Ford presidency.
Right.
Okay. Um, so this is what we're leading into right now. It's not only the trickle down theory, it's the incompetence that is running this country right now.
It's
Case in point, the
incompetence.
shutdown.
It's incompetence and greed. And let's talk about the
Yeah.
shutdown. It's interesting. We know that November 1 was the start of the shutdown, but that was over the weekend. So the payments should be made today, Monday, as you're listening to this. And there won't
Mhm.
be any payments made. They're hoping by the middle of the week, but there's no way they can possibly do it because there's no way they're showing how to do it. Now, the courts have said you got to use the emergency funds. Now, the emergency funds don't cover the whole month, they cover about 2/3 of the month. But still, they should put them out there so people aren't suffering. I was telling you before we came on, there's a lot of people griping about the shutdown and the SNAP benefits being stopped. A lot of people are terrified because they feed their family with those SNAP benefits. You know who's really bitching about it loud now? Walmart. Walmart is
Yeah.
bitching. Now, these fucks tend to lean right. So why would Walmart be bitching about it? And I'll tell you why. Um, about $8 billion go out a month for SNAP payments. Okay, $8 billion a month. Walmart takes about 26% of those SNAP payments every month. So if there is no SNAP payments, guess who takes a $2 billion fucking hit every month if
Everywhere.
this SNAP things are shut off. So they're starting to get a little itchy right now,
Right.
and they supported Donald Trump. So fuck you.
And here's the thing. I keep seeing all these videos of these fucking ghouls talking about, what people buy in SNAP, the welfare mothers and all their children, they don't work. They get $1,400 and they buy. You guys make me sick because you have no idea how the system works. Okay.
No,
It's supplementing your income. Even if you don't have a job, you're lucky if you get $600-700, which
right.
is a fine for a month. But they keep telling me, why is my tax money going toward that? Hey, assholes, here's a stat for you. Your taxes amount to $36 to
A year,
fund SNAP, okay, a
a
year.
year.
You know how much we have to pay out? You've probably seen the stat for the tax cuts they just gave to billionaires and the oligarchs.
Yeah,
$670 a year. So you're talking about socialism and you're talking about we shouldn't pay for them. Then why am I paying socialists? Why am I paying for billionaires to get richer? Why?
exactly.
Why am I paying more taxes than Amazon or Jeff Bezos? But you guys are the dumbest fucking people. And you justify all this. I've seen videos where people justifying this ballroom, and you will never see the inside of a ballroom. You've never
No,
seen the inside of a dance hall, probably. And you
yeah,
people are out of your mind. Anything your orange God wants, you'll give him. By the way, I saw those pictures at that Great Gatsby party. Nothing says fuck you, working class, than having this huge party dressed up based on a book that talks about the excess of wealth anyway, because that wasn't a celebration of wealth, that was a condemnation of wealth. And there
right.
was a video of Trump sitting there with that stupid, shit eating grin on his face, surrounded by all people. How do you idiots support him? Why do you think he's one of you? He is not. Oh, by the way,
What's
also the Lincoln bathroom. That's what he's
yeah,
wearing. That's my money too, you bitch.
yeah.
Put marble in a bathroom? What the fuck?
Well, think about this. When you think about the ballroom, you think about the bathroom, you think about the new Air Force One and the renovations we have to put into that, the new plane for Christy Nome, this party, the $230 million he's demanding from uh, from the DOJ. This is all tax money. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
what he says about the ballroom. He says he's paying for it himself, and then there's private donors. We know he's a pathological liar. We know if he's using his own money, it's money he stole from the government.
Mm-hmm.
So he's using all this taxpayer money and then saying, well, you don't deserve SNAP benefits because you're this, or you don't deserve reasonably priced health care. That smacks of a famous quote, let them eat cake,
Mm-hmm.
which was basically suggested by Marie Antoinette, who was basically showing no empathy for the poor, someone being rich.
So my
They
going back
chopped her
to
head
you
off,
guys,
by the way, too.
yeah, she went the way. But the thing about it is that my history teacher, Ms. Dismag, which we talked about last one, was world history teacher. She talked about Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette was a Habsburg, I believe, but she was a product of several generations of interbreeding, so she wasn't really bright. And so she said that wasn't a cruel statement. We're all sitting there because we've heard it for years, right? Even in high school in 1976. And she goes, no. The problem was she had no clue what was going on. She was clueless. And
Right.
so when they asked her, "The people have no bread?" She said she thought it wasn't a cruelty. She's saying, "Okay, well, let them eat cake if they don't have bread." That's was her thinking. And she said that probably when they executed her, she had no idea why they did it. She wasn't a bright
Problem.
cookie. But the point is, that's still the same thing. They're not bright people. They really think they're wait. There was an article I read in the Daily Beast that Trump is absolutely fucking frustrated because Democrats aren't rolled over for him yet.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can bet.
because yeah, I mean, he goes, I'm doing all this. I'm cutting all these programs that they love. I'm fucking with them. Why aren't they rolling over? Well, basically, because you kind of condom, you want to negotiate, and part of it is the ACA, but the other part is I saw Chuck Schumer at a press conference, and a reporter asked him the stupid question as, "Why are you keeping the government closed?" And motherfucker actually got mad. He got mad. And I'm
Really?
going, whoa. Yeah, he laid it out. No, and he laid it out and it wasn't his teacher voice. He was pissed. He was so pissed he couldn't answer the question. He had another colleague answer it because he was mad because you
Yeah.
guys keep saying we control it. No, Scott Bassett today on with Jake Tapper. Hey, by the way, Jake, fuck you. I saw your interview with the New Mexico representative telling why aren't your two senators voting for it? And she said the reason. He goes, yeah, but people are going, so yeah, they have contingency money. Motherfucker said, no, they don't. She goes, yes, they do. And at the end, when he's still trying to blow her off, he says, yeah, they do. So you lied. You were trying to
Yeah.
make a point, and you lied. But in this interview with Scott said the Secretary of the Treasury, who should know what's going on economically, and he asked him, "Why won't you do this? Why the contingency?" And he said the same bullshit. Well, the judges said they could. The president says they don't. We got to look at it. No, the two federal judges says the money's there to use it. But I'm inclined to believe what you said. I don't think the money's there. I think
You
they
know
used it
that
for ice.
that sounds very conspiratorial to say that, but I know how Donald Trump and other people like him deal. They're constantly pulling money from every place, and
Mm-hmm.
I say, I'll worry about that later. And the money may not be there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, with the pressure they're getting, they may have to. They may have already done it, but the fact that they won't, or they're fighting against it, in spite of the fact that the SNAP is now essentially shut off,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to open up a whole nother can of worms if they find out the money's gone, and it could be.
Yeah, because it's not at first is we couldn't do it. I mean, I heard that we couldn't do it. Then I keep hearing little things like, well, the money's not there.
Right.
What do you mean the money's not there? I've heard some of these people say there's no contingency fund. Why is there no contingency fund? There was a contingency fund at the end of September. The USDA rules were there that in case of an emergency, this money is going to use to fund SNAP. You deleted that like that would make it go away, which is the stupidest thing in these days. So if the money's not there, what happens? Because the problem is the people that should prosecute that is under control of Pam Bondi and Kash Patel.
The
That
reason
ain't
I say
happening.
that The reason I say that, when I look at this situation, I think about all those stories we hear
Mhm.
about some woman or some man who've embezzled a lot of money from their company. And then all of a sudden the books are opened up and you see really what's going on. And the owner of the company goes, fuck, where's all my money? Everything's a mess. Nothing makes sense. And I'm concerned that that might be the case when Donald Trump is out of office and the Republicans are out. They are going to leave us financially in a shambles because they take money from this, take money from that, pay it to Doge, give it to ICE, do whatever. We don't know where this money is coming from. And that is a problem because if it isn't something they have in their pocket, they're going to have to take it from something else that needs to be funded.
And the thing about it too is I keep hearing they're sending new rules out for SNAP to get money. I'm going, no, Congress can only do that. The executive branch does not set the rules. The Congress sets the rules on the funding. You monitor it. That's it. That's all the
Right.
executive branch is supposed to do. But they've taken it in their hands to it's like all of a sudden you got to do this, this, and this. No, that rule that law hasn't been changed. You just say it's been changed because
Right.
there is no Congress in session. And I don't know what to say about Mike Johnson because that is just ridiculous. And he's still spouting the same bullshit about it not coming in until Democrats cave in and give us a clean CR. And when they bring up the health, well, they want to do the illegal alien health. No, we know this is not true. The
Well,
majority of people in America know this is not true.
what you
But
said was what you
mm,
said was that Donald Trump is upset or confused that the Democrats haven't caved in yet,
no,
and that tracks when you talk about narcissists who tend to bully. They spend their lives bullying people and are used to people caving in and not or caving into their will. It's not until somebody stands up to them, whether it be in a situation like this or whether it punch them in the mouth. And that's when they get confused and that's when they start losing. So Donald Trump is confused that the Democrats aren't stepping back. And a lot of us are surprised they're not stepping back, but they're kind of put themselves in a position where they have no choice. Stepping back would be disastrous for them. They've got, Donald Trump says, all the Democrats don't like what the Democrats are doing here. Well, the polls will tell us 52, 53% of the public blame Republicans for it. So that should hopefully send a message to the normal minded or regular minded Republicans, but apparently not enough yet.
I mean ACA premiums already doubled because there's no subsidies right now. People are
Right.
getting the looking at their on the re-enrollment what they're paying. And it's what's the choice? I mean, temporary the food that supports some people who are on the. And again, for you people who think people are not doing anything, this is a supplement to help them go through so they can pay for their rent, pay for
Right.
their utilities. Okay, there is no, and I keep hearing again from all these videos, your free housing, you get all this. No, you do not. You dumbasses. Even if they did cut off subsidies for housing, but it doesn't give you free housing. It gives you a subsidy for your rent because
Right.
of your income. But these people are so enamored with the idea that I did it. Why can't you? Hey, dumbasses, you're one bad day from being there.
Right.
Okay. I mean, you're one bad sickness from being there. Okay. I mean, and I'm sitting in a state that has literally $15 billion in surplus.
Yeah.
Okay. 1.3 million Georgians are on SNAP or food assistance. And the Democrats in the state asked Brian Kemp, the Republican governor who's out in Japan and Korea, trying to salvage his fucking mistake still, about the Hyundai plant. If you guys don't remember, why don't you release some of it? Because it's not that much money. We're sitting on, $14 billion in surplus to just tide over, and then we can talk to the federal government, get it back. His statement was, then what else are we going to cover? We're going to give free to this and that and that. We don't even know the government's getting back in this, going to come back into session. So he said no.
Well, the
This
words you
is
said,
Republicans.
the word that you said that is the key point is surplus,
Yes.
meaning it's not allotted for anything else. It's surplus.
Right.
So maybe a rainy day fund. And
Right.
when millions of people aren't getting their food supplements, that might be considered a rainy day.
Right.
But see, this is the point. And what people have to understand, whether it be Brian Kemp or whether it be on a national level, these fucking people
I'll toss
do
in
not
Bill
care.
Lee from Tennessee. He's
Oh
just as
yeah.
bad.
But all these people don't care if poor people have this funding. You need to understand that. And I'm hoping that now that the SNAP benefits are shut off, and we know there are a lot of red states that get a high percentage of SNAP benefits. Do you think this is finally going to hit home to some of these fucks? They're going to go, shit, I expected my money. I didn't know it was SNAP. I thought it was called something else. Do you think it's finally going to get through their thick skulls that they're fucking
I mean, they're
themselves
gonna
up?
they're gonna find out there's no such thing as black and Mexican SNAP,
Yeah.
and it's all the same. That's what you keep hearing. Is when they say those words as dog whistles, they're all
Yeah.
talking about those people. Oh, not you, but those people. And again, people ask the question, do you want your tax money? Yes, because that's why I paid it to the system. Because
Right.
sometimes I may have to use it, which I did once. And if you, there's a creator that has this stupid video lambasting a mom who used $27 of her SNAP for cupcakes to take to her son's school,
Yeah.
saying that it shouldn't have been spent on that. She just got the raw ingredients made herself. One, they don't want you doing that because allergies. Two, do you know how much it is to put together to make homemade shit? To be
Oh
honest,
yeah. Yeah.
it's expensive. But I watched this guy's video keep popping up like he did something. It's $27. Listen to your saying, dude. $27.
Yeah.
$27. And I heard that, I'm going, it's $27. What the fuck? But see, this is the mentality of these people. They think they are better than them. Going back to what Johnson said, if you make a poor white person feel better than a poor black person, don't empty out your pockets for you. They'll
Yeah.
empty the pockets for you. Because it's like, I see all these pictures of these people, mostly white women, some white men, but mostly white women. And I'm going, they're so smug. I go, you've never been there, have you? You have no fucking idea. And again, you're doing this because you think it's people that look like me. It's not.
Yeah.
I've been through it. If you look at Appalachia, Kentucky, come on, guys. But there's the empathy in this country. The biggest tragedy, if you want to say about Trump and maybe the 45 years of Reaganomics, is the lack of that the empathy has been sucked out of this country.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
reason you would fight against like injustice or corporate greed because the empathy would have cost other people. Now they don't care because they think they're better than the people when it's effective. No, you're not. You never
Yeah.
will be. You're worse than those people because you want them to get harm. And the last time I checked, Jesus did not say, "Yeah, don't feed those people. They don't deserve to have food."
No.
I mean, the last time I checked, no, that's not what I heard. At least when I went to church. And to those people who do go to church and went to church on Sunday, if your church is not doing something to alleviate this problem with food banks or using some of their money and telling people to come here and we can see about getting meals for you. If your church is not doing anything like that, ignoring it or evangelical and celebrating that, and you hear God or Christ in your ear go, this isn't right, leave, because it's not right.
You know what's going to hit when it's going to hit home with these rednecks is that we get around Thanksgiving and a guy's cousin, wife, stepsister can't make SpaghettiOs for fucking Thanksgiving for the troop of
God.
Trumplefucks. Then they're going to feel the fucking pain.
Oh, fish sticks.
Fish
Have
sticks.
to go there.
Well, it's Friday, you know.
I mean, it's Friday. Oh my God. I
I
mean,
wanted to ask you about some. I wanted to ask you
you go
about something.
ahead.
We'll get back. We'll get back on that topic, but I'm anxious to talk about something else.
Hmm.
I talked about it earlier on a TikTok. There was a serious interview, a sit-down interview on national television, network television today, where Donald Trump was being interviewed on 60 Minutes. Now, there was a time when a politician or a president ended up on 60 Minutes, you go, oh shit, they're going to get it now. But of course, we've got CBS, who was complicit with Donald Trump, who's bent a knee, who's paid him fucking bribery money.
Hmm.
You saw the interview, and I can guess how it went, but I'm curious of what your perspective of it was.
I didn't see all because they haven't really released it yet. I've heard and seen clips, but let me go in and put some context of what you said because I saw your video and then I went back and followed you up because there's context here. The new head of CBS News is a woman named Barry Weiss.
Right.
Barry Weiss is a hardcore Steve Bannon Trumper.
Right.
The first thing she did is the first week in CBS News, she has fired every black and person of color at CBS News. Gayle
I
King has
don't
been
doubt it.
told to leave, one of their known anchors. Everyone of
Right.
color is being told to leave, and those who are white have been reassigned. She is cleaning house. Okay. So in that context, they have Donald Trump sitting for a 60-minute interview. First things first, if you know how it goes on a Sunday with 60 Minutes, they follow football games, national football games,
Right.
in the East Coast. Okay, because the football game will go to maybe 7, 8, counting if it's going long. Trump was upset. Trump was pissed because they hadn't started the interview on time. Why? Because we have to wait for the football games to end. Why? It's
Was it
me.
live? Was it live or recorded?
Well, they had in order to release it, in order to release the 60 Minutes, it has to wait. Okay. It was a recorded
Okay.
interview. Obviously, it's a recorded interview. No, hell
Yeah.
yeah. They got to do
He
some
just
editing.
doesn't like the release time was on
He
time.
didn't like it because they had to wait. Because why is football more important than me?
Yeah.
You're still pissed at the NFL because they didn't give you a team because they
I'll
knew
tell you
better.
why they're
Because
more. I'll tell you why they're more important, you Donald, and you will understand this. Fucking ratings. That's
exactly.
why.
That's why. A quick note on the side note. That's why they're not giving rid of Bad Bunny because like fucking ratings. So fuck you and that turning point thing. And in a few minutes, we have to talk about Erica Kirk. We got to spill some fucking tea on that. We have to spill
Well,
tea.
just so people know, that alternative halftime show that they were so going gangbusters on, leading the top of the bill, Kid Rock and Ted Nugent. And they said Creed, but Creed said, no, we never said that.
Touching
Anyway,
that, no.
they had this big event and they knew everybody's going to be coming. It's been canceled because no
It's been
one fucking
canceled.
cares.
No one cares. But we're gonna talk because there's we gotta gossip on that because it's so beautiful. But so hit the interviews there. So Trump, the clips I've seen mostly are dealing with ICE,
Yeah.
and the interviewer asked him, "Do you think?" and showed her pictures or ran videos of ICE's excessive tactics. Throwing people to the ground, the bleeding. You've seen it all. Um, Trump's reaction: ICE hasn't gone far enough. They need to go further
Wow.
because the liberal judges are stopping them from doing their job. And again, they asked him, what if people are citizens? He goes, what if they have, you said you're going after the worst of the worst. If they're not criminals, he goes, well, they're still illegals. They don't deserve. Basically, justifying ICE tactics right now. We all see it. They have gotten worse and more violent, and they're attacking people that, again, soft targets. And he's supporting this.
There's a video out there right now, and I haven't seen the video, but I've heard reports of it. And that video is going to catch all the crazy shit, stupid, illegal shit that ICE is doing. But there is a video that I think is going to be around a lot more in the next coming days, where an ICE agent has a man down in cuffs behind his back, and on video punches the guy.
Right.
That's a fucking coward.
Punched him, and then dragged his face across the pavement.
Yeah.
I've seen that video. And what was he doing? He was a protester.
Yeah.
I've seen him just jump on protesters because these guys are sensitive little bitches. They're cowards. And you've seen the new head of the Border Patrol, that asshole. That man is a total cold Nazi.
Is that the guy that they sent to court?
Yes.
They said he got to come back every day?
Right. And so he has told people that he is going to make that there's going to be lethal force. There's videos of a guy coming by pulling a gun on protesters going, "You're dead, liberal," an ICE agent. Right. It's getting bad, and why? Because no one can stop them. No one is stopping them. They won't do it. So that's his thing. Now, once the interview comes out, because I've seen pieces, they're going to talk about economics and how they got trillions of dollars from the last trade junket. Karen Levitt, the bubblehead bleach blonde that lies at 5, said that in one of the interviews today to Sunday, that is totally, they got trillions of dollars into the United States. Where?
And so
where's this money?
And so pay $8 billion of it for SNAP. Simple.
Yeah, trillions. Also, Trump is telling Toyota is going to make an investment of $10 billion in the United States. Toyota going, no. What is he talking about? That's what we're dealing with. This man is lost his goddamn mind. He's basically, we know he's had a stroke, a mini stroke. We know he's got the signs of it, but I'm flabbergasted about the incompetence of this, that the sheer cruelty, thinking that there's going to be no reaction. Because the people who know, we know what's going to happen when you starve a populace. History has shown what happens when a populace is starved. Yeah. But people are saying, that's what he wants. Then he's going to get the military in. It's all going to be good. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because then people won't care anymore. They'll care even worse. Yeah. It would be a nightmare. And I don't see the logic of this. Now, is there rumors that the Republican Party is kind of turning on Trump? I don't know. I keep hearing that. But
I keep hearing that too. And if they're just turning on him now, you have to wonder, where the fuck you been? Because since he's been in office, it's been nothing but a horror show, nothing but negative stuff in this country. He's underwater in terms of the polls. The Republicans are underwater in terms of the polls and the shutdown. Nothing is going well for them. The economy is going to shit. If you're out looking for a job now, you might as well forget it, because Donald Trump isn't adding jobs. He's losing fucking jobs.
Like I said, we talked about the thousands of layoffs that already happened. Bank liquidity. Banks don't have cash, guys. There were short-term loans again from the Fed to banks. Why? Because people aren't paying their mortgages or their car payments. Repos are up. Banks are not liquid. And the reason they keep hiding that is that if they're not liquid, they can't get your deposit back. and
Right.
they don't want runs on banks. Gee, I wonder what happened, where that happened. Oh yeah, before the Great Depression. They're hiding shit every fucking day. That's the one thing that the shutdown has given them, an opportunity to hide how bad it really is.
Yeah.
This is how bad it really is economically. The people in the know it. They know it. They're just trying to keep it down because they're trying to see we have to react to it. But if everyone goes into panic mode, we're fucked. What do
Well,
we do?
and that's common with this mentality, narcissist or whatever. They bullshit you, they gaslight you, and they manage everything. But when it gets too much and they can't manage it, then they start trying to hide it. And that's the sign of the end because they won't be able to continue to management. You can keep telling people prices are down, but people go and they buy their shit and they know it's not down.
Right.
So those lies end up not working anymore, and then it fucking explodes into an absolute
But
pile of shit.
the lies work on what did Trump say on that he talked to the Chinese and they're going to buy 25 metric tons of soybeans? They bought 27 the year before from Biden, but when are they buying these things? What's the timetable? Are the orders been sent out? The guys have got nothing's going to happen.
Let me tell you about that deal. This is something Donald Trump is saying. So, if you understand what was going on with China before Donald Trump took over, they were buying soybeans. They were finally recovering from the first time Donald Trump fucked
Yep.
over the farmers, and they were getting more soybeans, and they were um, buying 27 metric tons of soybeans. Everything we were getting rare earth minerals from
Right.
China. 90% of the rare earth minerals we got came from China. Okay. So then Donald Trump throws in these tariffs. They say we're not buying soybeans anymore, and the rare earth minerals, you can't have them. Okay. So Donald Trump goes in and says he has this deal. They're now going to buy 25 metric tons of soybeans, and we're going to get more rare earth minerals. So, Donnie, are you telling me that the big deal that you made was a little worse than we had in the first place before you fucked this up? Of course, that's what
Mm-hmm.
he's saying. But more importantly, you have to understand if you really look into it, there is no deal. There is
No.
a framework of a deal. And in this alleged deal, there is no guarantees. The Chinese are smart enough not to offer any guarantees because they don't know what the market's going to be. They don't know what the politics are going to be. They don't know what Donald Trump is going to say. So it's easy for Donald Trump to say, oh, they're going to buy 25 metric tons of soybeans. But that doesn't mean they have to. There is
No.
no deal.
No.
And if they don't feel like it or Donald Trump pisses them off, they won't. So this is just a short thing that's going to make the farmers, oh, good, we're whole again. And then it will
No,
never
you're
come
not
to
whole again
pass and they're fucked.
because your crop right now it's not going to be sold. They got their
Right.
soybeans from Argentina and Brazil for this
Right.
season already. And I've already seen farmers going, you see, it came through. No, you guys are so stupid and so into this cult. He says he did something, but there's no money. There is no, he's a, it's literally someone who has cheated, who's basically passed bad checks so long. Now we need cash, baby. Well, I
Right.
did deals for, yeah, you fucked me on my deals. I want cash. Then we'll do it. But that's the thing. He knows that these people are so devoted for him that they will believe it, even though they're sitting there in bankruptcy because they haven't gotten anything. Have you gotten orders for the next season of soybeans? No. You gotten shit. And
You're
you're
gonna have
running
to
around thinking he saved you.
you're gonna have to eat it this year. And those farmers that think Donald Trump has saved us with this framework of a deal, I got a question for you. Donald Trump also told you he was going to bail you out. Did you get your
Mm-hmm.
check yet? Did you get
Nope.
bailed out yet? No, you didn't. And I told you wouldn't because there's nothing he can gain from giving you money. He'd rather put those billions of dollars in his pocket than save the farmers because he doesn't give a fuck about the farmers. The farmers may think they're saved, but I doubt they're going to sell any soybeans this year. And even if they do buy soybeans next year, you took a huge hit this year.
How are you
And
going
how
to
are you going to
recover?
recover? Yeah.
And I don't, this mentality, I keep saying, these people of MAGA are so devoted to this program. It is just like, I'm going, you don't hear a con? You're being conned. And
Right.
that's what a con man does. Hey, I got you. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Trust me. You're going to get your money on Friday. And you keep buying this. And it goes back to also the ACA, because Trump doesn't call it ACA, he calls it Obamacare.
Right.
Let's be honest. The only reason he wants that to go down because Obama's name's attached to it.
Right.
He hates Obama with a passion beyond belief. Okay. By the way, they're going to investigate whether his birth certificate is real again. They're bringing that up again in the DOJ.
What?
But he's, and all he goes, they want to kill the ACA. They couldn't do it through the courts, so they're going to do it economically. Basically, they get rid of the subsidies, they make it too expensive, it dies on the vine. And
Right.
then what? Nothing. There is, because I heard people talking about like that idiot from Louisiana, the other foghorn leghorn,
Yeah.
Kennedy, talking
Yeah.
about, well, what do you have replacement? He gives a word salad about stuff. Okay, private. Again, the ACA is privatized with government subsidies. The United States government is not giving you health care. I wish it was. I wish we had universal health care. Trust me, I'm about to find that out in a month. But no, they designed it that way because you couldn't get universal health care through Congress. They couldn't do it. There was no way. So what they came up with the ACA was a way um, to keep down costs, and the government subsidized the system so people can get health care that normally don't health care. That is the ACA. But they have fed you this bullshit because of the Tea Party, because they're thinking, oh, yeah, it's free healthcare. It's not. It's
No, it's
not.
not.
It's not. And to watch, I mean, again, I had to live through another Buddy Carter for Senate here in Georgia commercial talking
Yeah.
about his health care for everyone. You lying sack of shit. And you end your video with a picture of Trump calling you a warrior for MAGA. Fuck you and the horse you ran in on. Because
But,
Republicans don't care about you. I don't know what else to tell you guys, but
well,
believe what you want.
the thing is, I heard a Republican, I can't remember who it was. Somebody asked him about, well, do the Republicans have a plan? Yeah, we have a plan. And what's the plan? And he goes, to have a better plan. Donald Trump, when he was elected the first time, he said he had a plan. He had 2 weeks away from the plan. He was there 4 years, no plan. Four
Nope.
years since Donald Trump was out of office while Biden was in, no plan. He's now in there 10 months and there's still no plan. Well, we'll tell you later. No, you won't. You won't tell us later.
No.
It's like you telling us that you just open you just vote for the continuing resolution, and we promise we'll talk about health care. No, you won't,
No, you won't.
because you've never done it in the past.
They wanted to collapse. And
Yeah,
there is no contingency for people who are here not legal. Now,
right.
again, as we said before, those people who are not legal here in the United States can get any kind of benefits, but they pay taxes into the system. You dumbasses.
Right.
I mean, this government is run on hate. And the only thing this government's paying for is a secret Gestapo police who is stopping people who are look of color that suspect. Now, obviously, they're not going after. I mean, they asked Trump in that interview about, do you think landscapers? He goes, are criminals? And he goes, if they're here illegally, but we need landscapers. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, oh great white man. I
Yeah.
appreciate that statement. And to make it worse, we're talking about the war on poverty. Do you see what they're doing outside of Salt Lake City?
No.
Oh, you're going to love this. Look it up. It's in the New York Times. They have designated 16 acres of land outside of Salt Lake City. They're building, it's a concentration camp. They're building a concentration camp for homeless people and mentally ill.
Wow.
They are going to pick up homeless people and drop them in there. They call that an advocacy camp. No, it's a fucking work camp because Trump, this started with DC because Trump saw homeless people, or when he was in New York, and instead of figuring out why are they homeless, why don't they have housing, why don't they have health care, why don't they have mental health, what can we do to help them? No, remove them.
Right.
And in Spencer Cox, the governor of Utah, is signing off on this. They're spending millions of dollars on that instead of millions of dollars of trying to help people in bad spots. Their idea is to throw them into a camp and then it'll be okay. There's no due process. They're being picked up for being poor. Again, no due process, no Fifth, Fourth Amendments. When did that start to become practical? You assholes.
I get a kick out of the Mormons calling this an advocacy camp. I mean, this is what Republicans and religious people do all the time. They put nice names on things, and it's horrible. The idea that Mormons are calling this an advocacy camp is akin to them calling Mormonism a religion. Because
Right.
Mormonism, and I'm sorry if I piss off any Mormons, but Mormonism is a cult. All you have to do is Google the definition of cult and look at Mormonism, and that's what it fucking is.
Right. And it's ridiculous. I read the article in the New York Times, and if people are going to text about it, I have the link. Actually, I did a video on it. Find my video on it about it. It's, I think I call it a concentration camp, and there's a link to the New York Times article. Read the article. It's fucking chilling. Okay, it's chilling because they defend it in some kind of psychological needs, but it doesn't make sense because you're picking up people because they're poor.
Right.
Poor has become a crime. Why? Now, people say it's because they want to get a workforce to work the farms. I want to see a farmer take these people to work and not get a backlash.
Yeah.
Because they keep forgetting there are still more of us than there is of them. And someone says, "Oh yeah, they took those homeless guys and they're working in a field." The shit will hit the fan for that farmer, not the government, but the farmer.
Right.
And the hardest thing right now is everything ICE does. No one questions it. No one oversees it. The detention centers are ridiculous. They're cruel. This is court filings on this, and they don't do anything because these guys have been told they have immunity. You can do whatever you want. No, sirs, your time is going to come.
Yeah.
Karma is not going to be nice to you. And eventually, if they go to lethal, they keep forgetting this country has millions of weapons, and it's just not just conservatives,
Right.
dumbasses.
Right.
And you could turn this into more of a problem than it is.
And the thing about it is when the Republicans, Donald Trump's administration, tells ICE agents that they have immunity, what they're talking about is qualified immunity, like a police officer would have. Unfortunately, you lose that qualified immunity if you do something while taking away people's civil rights or constitutional rights. Then there is no qualified immunity. And if you don't know that, you better fucking read up on it because there's going to be a lot of indictments and a lot of prosecutions of these dumbass ICE people.
I don't give a fuck what Brett Kavanaugh said. All these people being stopped, when you ask them, what am I being stopped for? What am I being charged with? And the answer is, we don't have to tell you, is bullshit. Yeah, that is the Fourth Amendment. That is the Fifth Amendment for habeas corpus. They're not even letting them have habeas corpus. There's no court hearings. There's no bail hearings. Oh, they're illegals. Really? Prove it. That's what a
Yeah.
court's for. But the people have latched onto this because that's all they have left. Let's be honest, guys. All MAGA has left is hate
Yeah.
and anger. And they're always pissed off about something. The newest one with Snap is, oh, yeah, if y'all going to steal some groceries, we're going to start shooting at people. Really? You think that you're going to get away with that if you kill someone because they took a loaf of bread? Do you know how that's going to end for you? I shot them because they were stealing. Yeah, you're not going to jail for murder.
But here's the thing: the people who are going to be stealing, if that happens, could be people that are left leaning. But there's a lot more Republicans, right leaning people that get SNAP. And here's what I enjoy more than anything: Donald Trump said mostly Democrats get SNAP, only Democrats get
Oh
SNAP. So he's
God,
not
yes,
worried
I
about it.
saw that.
And I don't know whether he doesn't know that or he's just lying. He's trying to gaslight, whatever. But when these people, Donald Trump and the Republicans, realize it's hitting them, the great joy I take, it's one thing for them to get their ass kicked, but if they get blindsided in the process, I take particular joy in that. And a lot of motherfuckers are going to get blindsided because there's a lot of dumb fucks in red states thinking
Mhm.
that they got something other than SNAP, and because they're white, they'll keep getting it. But there will be no prejudice in the terms of taking away SNAP benefits. Everybody's losing it, and
And
you red motherfuckers are going to be pissed.
if you
And we're
look
going
at
to
the
find out soon.
statistics of the ACA, the majority of them are in red states. You're
Right.
going to not only not get your food, you're not going to get your health care. And again, to watch these videos of these people who are fucking clueless, because he says Democrats only. What he meant is them black folk
Yeah.
and them Mexican folk. Let's be
Right.
honest. Just break it down. Stop being nice to this shit. Okay, that is a racist trope that the Reagan administration and the Lincoln Project and all those people now running against Trump came up with in order for you to buy into the trickle down economics, because those people are taking your money. Those they gave you a false idea of scarcity. There was no scarcity per se. It needed to be somewhat overhauled. It needed to
Yeah.
be streamlined, but no one is taking anything from you because it's your benefits too. You're just in a position not to use them yet. But no
Right.
one sees that because those people, well, they don't work. A lot of them have and do work, and they paid into that system. But you can't argue with hate. And the worst thing about watching these videos, there are a lot of young people
Yeah.
buying into this shit. And question, is it me? But why is it like young white women are the worst ones of this? Am I the only one? I've seen this. I go, what happened to you?
Yeah.
What
Yeah. I
happened
don't.
to you?
Who the hell knows? I mean, if these young white women in red counties have probably already been marginalized by their
Right.
men folk, I don't know why you jump up and down and support this shit. Talking about young white women, you kind of teased this early on
Oh,
in the
okay, yeah.
podcast.
Tea time.
We need
Everyone, let's
we
okay.
we need to
Tea.
talk about Erica Kirk, and I have some thoughts on
Oh,
her too. But go ahead.
okay. So they had a CPAC again. I think they have those every month. I don't know when they were. So JD Vance was at CPAC. Okay, talking
Right.
his shit. Um, he talked about if you want to be segregated, that's fine. He he basically was down with segregated schools, the same, Jim Crow 2.0. He also said his wife, he's trying to convince his wife to become Christian.
Right.
Okay, that don't go well with a Hindu household. But
No.
here's the thing, okay? Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, apparently her and JD have been getting along real well because he's been her rock during this problem.
And
After his
she
death.
appears to be doing really well after the assassination of her husband. She
Yeah.
seems to have gotten over it very well.
And before he came on stage, she introduced him on stage, and basically the way she talked about him, going, man, that doesn't sound like someone introducing political figure. That was it was like, are you guys like doing the horizontal bop? And
Yeah.
then they come. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to say this, and I got some heat from this because I said this in a video. She's at CPAC, okay? She's supposed to be the head, the new head of the Turning Point, this huge organization that her husband created, okay? She's supposed to project power. Why was she wearing a pair of tight leather pants and a shirt that's tied from the front?
Yeah.
And I don't care. Look, ladies, don't get me wrong. I don't give a fuck, okay? But there's a time and place for stuff, okay? That did not look like a professional outfit. Sorry, it's the truth. So JD, Kachias and JD, they come out and to me, and normally you would shake a hand, you do a quick hug, maybe a peck in the cheek, you move on. She wrapped herself around him,
Yeah.
okay, and ran her hands through his hair. And I kept thinking, my gosh, she's going to wrap her legs around him. That was not a friendly hug, y'all. That was not a friendly hug. And every woman I've seen on the videos looking at her and going, "Oh, if that was my husband, someone's getting their ass beat for
Yeah.
that."
Yeah.
And
Oh, my wife wouldn't have tolerated that. And that was
no,
probably the best sex JD Vance has gotten since he was in
I,
a Barker Lounger factory.
well, I mean, she was wearing the best comments I had. Well, she was wearing leather pants, so he had a choice. I mean, favorite outfit,
Yeah. That
and I
maybe that's
laughed.
why. Maybe that's
And,
why. Yeah.
but then she says something about, he says something about her becoming that his wife becoming Christian, and her name is USA, right? USA
Usa
Vance,
Vance. Yeah.
Usha Vance, and I said in the video because it came from Aaron Parnas, a video, okay, and my comment was simple: look for JD Vance to literally divorce his wife and marry um, Erica Kirk. Look for that to happen. Dude, I wish I get a video viral that comment went. I've got like every day since I made that comment, I'm getting like 10,000 likes on that comment because everyone's going, yeah, yeah. He is going to get rid of her. He's going to get rid of her, divorce her, and marry Erica Kirk because that to him is the next step up. Because the thing keeping him back from the Project 2025 and the true hardcore MAGA racist is that his wife is Indian,
Right.
that his wife is of color. Now, that worked for him when he was doing the Democratic thing, right? He ain't doing the
Right.
Democratic thing. He's doing the Christo fascist white supremacist thing. He needs a wife to reflect that. And I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
Well, some people will take this as a conspiracy theory, and I'm not making a theory. I'm just laying out facts, and you decide for yourself what you think of this. Let's think about Erica Kirk before she ever met uh, uh, Charlie Kirk. She was in a pageant with Donald Trump. She's known Donald Trump for a long time. You saw when she hugged Donald Trump, that was more of a familiar type situation. She went to Romania to work with kids. I don't know if you heard this story.
So go
She
on.
went
This
to
is getting good.
Romania to work with kids. Romania was suspicious. They kicked her out of the country because there were a lot of missing kids in the area while she was there. Now, I'm not saying she did anything, but that's what actually happened. She's in Romania, supposed to be working with kids. Romania realized a bunch of kids went missing, and they apparently suspected her because they kicked her out of the fucking country. So she's out of the country. Okay? So now she comes back to America ultimately. Charlie Kirk is a nobody. Really, he
Yep.
was a nobody for a long period of time. He's this goofy looking fuck that is spewing this stuff, and he's fairly articulate. And then he comes to power when? When a billionaire decides to support him. All of a sudden, Turning Point America is now a going concern because there's money. He didn't have the money before, so this billionaire comes in and feeds him this money, and he's doing well. Then he's going to do an interview with Erica. She was a quasi radical right uh, journalist, and they talk and they fall in love. This girl is highly educated, very attractive woman. She knows a lot of people, and she falls in love with this fucking goof. Okay? So she falls in love with this goof, and now he dies. So she gets her time to shine, be in control, have power, be this poor widow. And now she sees JD Vance. And it's not just JD Vance hitting on a hot girl. Erica Kirk seems like a very big opportunist and has an agenda beyond being this pretty mom who's been hurt by this assassination. So she sees JD Vance. And JD Vance has a problem when Donald Trump dies. He can't take over the cult because the cult does not like him. So
Yeah.
he's got to redeem himself to a certain extent. And she likes power. So now there's this electricity between them. She likes the idea of being the first lady should he become president. He likes the idea of getting all the Charlie Kirk fans supporting him now because he's in tight with Erica Kirk. It seems like a crazy conspiracy theory type story, but if you look at all the facts, it makes you wonder what the fuck.
I mean, that's very Manchurian candidate if you think about it.
Yeah,
And I mean, it would make sense because I don't give a fuck what people say. Donald Trump is not long for this world. And JD Vance will
yeah,
have to step into this position, whether he likes it or not. And again, a lot of things a lot of people say, now, I'm not saying this, I'm just repeating the controversies, is that if you think about Donald Trump, a lot of his wives had accidents when they
isn't that weird?
died. Isn't that horrid? And as one, and I'll have to say this: it's been black ladies. The sisters have come out and told Usha Vance, "Honey, come with me. You got to run. You got to
Yeah,
run. You got to run because he's going to get rid of you, honey. Because he can't divorce you, but he can be your widow." And you sit there, everyone goes, "Well, that's crazy." Is it? Look at these people. Look at these people are literally um, a bad political drama going out in front of us, and we're all
yeah.
suffering for it. But I knowing JD Vance, you talk about Erica Kirk being an opportunist. JD Vance is a great opportunist. He's been doing this for decades.
Well,
Okay.
and that's the point. You know, you see Erica Kirk and you see Charlie Kirk. They get an influx of money, and all of a sudden they've got power. That does sound familiar. J.D. Vance wrote one fucking book, and we don't even know if he wrote that. Next minute, we know he's a senator because he's good at it. No, because he got a billionaire to give him money. That's
Right.
the that's the thing that's the same with Charlie Kirk and J.D. Vance. Now, Charlie Kirk is gone, and I'll be honest with you. I hadn't thought about this for a long time. We always say that when Donald Trump is gone, that there's really nobody who can take over because there's nobody has the personality or the arrogance or the ability to articulate it. There really is nobody in politics. But you know who could have done it? Charlie
Charlie
Kirk.
Kirk. I
Charlie
would go with
Kirk.
that. I will go
He
with
might
that
have
because
been
he had
years
a lot
down
of
the
young
road, but
people
he
still.
could that he could carry that.
Yeah, he can't. I mean, it ain't going to be. It's not going to be Ben Shapiro. It's not going to be who
No.
else? Who else is on the thing? Tucker
Fuentes.
Carlson. Tucker Carlson can't. He can't. Tucker Carlson
No.
doesn't have that oomph. Nick Fuentes is a goof.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk, for all his basically hateful bullshit, did have that style. He
But
did.
who was he
Be
like?
honest.
He sounded like a young Donald Trump. That's what he
Yeah,
sounded like.
exactly. And he was smart and he played it. Why? What happened to him was tragic because no one should that happen. And I don't think if he had lived and then Trump passes on that he could do it again because again Trump has so many things going for him.
Yeah.
Kirk may had some, but it's not. I think he would have been a an imitation of it, but not the same power. Because again,
No.
remember the Republican Party has bought into Trump, but they didn't buy into Kirk. They only used Kirk as a propaganda tool after his death. So I mean, we were speculating on something that might have happened, but we look at that because that tells you one thing. That's how far the depravity is in
Yeah.
the government right now. What we're dealing with, that we can talk about that because it's obvious to all of us. That was obvious at what I
Yeah.
saw, what everyone saw. All right, and they'll make excuses for it. Vance is upset. Well, you can't. No, you. No, that's not true. Bitch, please. We saw it. You, as one person said, the best joke was that the problem is with his wife. He can't let him sleep on the couch
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's not a punishment. And
Yeah.
so,
Exactly.
but
Well, the thing about it is, if Erica Kirk and JD Vance got together, I promise you this: JD Vance would not be the brains of the outfit.
no, but
And that's
I
what I'm
think
saying. Since she's so tied into Trump and the billionaires and all that
mhm,
stuff, you wonder if she isn't a plant of some sort from the beginning.
or she basically used her situation to better herself. She owes people. She's beholden to people, but I think she has a plan.
Yeah.
And the plan wasn't to run Turning Point. She can't run Turning Point. It's too big. Some of his lieutenants are
And
running
she's a
Turning
woman.
Point. Yeah, that too. She's supposed to be a trad woman, a traditional wife. She's
Right.
not supposed to be in charge of stuff. It's such a decon. It's such a weird thing to watch women who are conservative buy into this shit because they don't want you to be anything but what they want you to be. How do you justify that? But hey, to each his own. Everyone's got a kink. I don't
There,
care, but sure.
there's another way around this too. If JD Vance knows his time is short with being vice president and being in politics, because if he ever has to get elected for anything again, he's in trouble. Maybe the plan is to make him the new leader of Turning Point with his beautiful wife, Erica Kirk. This all
Yeah,
sounds crazy, but
it's
when you
crazy,
look
but
at all the things that Donald Trump is doing, none of it's crazy. It's all conceivable.
here's the thing. That's if there's anything left for them. Because you have to
Right.
go back to reality. And the reality is the economy is is teetering. You have a doddering man who doesn't care about the American people and keeps pushing and pushing because he thinks he can get away with it. But
Yeah.
eventually, the math doesn't lie. All right, the snap thing is one one domino. But like you said, if corporations are going, dude, if Walmart's going, dude, and he doesn't do anything because for Trump, winning is everything. This is not about to him. There is no such thing as negotiation. Is just do what I say. That's not the way politics works. Hell, that's not the way business works.
Right.
Okay, you compromise, but he won't compromise because he wants to win. Hence the radical Democrats, blah blah. They're shutting. We hear this, and his sycophants keep going with the same line, Mike Johnson, and all that, because they think they're winning. They're not winning. And which
Right.
brings us back to the one fucking reason why this government is still shut down Epstein. And
Yeah.
again, they brought that, they laid that at Mike Johnson's feet in one of the shows, and he goes, that is a red herring. Everyone knows what happened. All the Epstein files are out. Really, bitch. Honestly,
That's a lame attempt.
really, we're not. And so, if all the files are out, why haven't you sworn in Grahava?
Yeah.
Why haven't you sworn her in? I mean, there's liars, and then there's just I don't give a shit when I say it's lies because people will believe it regardless. I
Yeah.
heard that. I'm going, dude, really? That's your story. You're sticking to it now? Shit. And the
Yeah.
thing about it is, going back, you need that type of support to do what they've done. Even
Yeah.
in the Heritage Foundation, there are rumors of cracks because they're finding out this isn't working the way we wanted it. Because they
Exactly.
seriously thought, honestly, they seriously thought that the American people will go, sure, we're down with it. I'll turn in my neighbors. It's all good. Yeah, we're down with it. Christo-fascism, sure, I'm good with it. No, they found out real quick. They don't understand why people are upset. They don't
Right.
get it why people are fighting back because we're Americans and we don't like to be told what to do. We like to come to an agreement where both sides can get along fine and move forward. We don't take really well to being said my way or the highway. It never works for us.
But don't you think that's where the division is coming in with the Republican Party? Donald Trump is doing what he always does. He bullies somebody, expects them to back down, and
Mm-hmm.
whether it be networks or other politicians, they always back down. So now
Mm-hmm.
he's confused that they aren't backing down. So all he knows how to do is ramp it up or try to be tougher or make a bigger threat. But the Republicans that have to get reelected, they're going, we're fucked in this
Well,
situation. You got to back down, but they can't get him to back down. That's where
like
the problem is.
he sent out a demand: get rid of the filibuster. Get
Yeah.
rid of the filibuster. We can have this solved, and we can do all these great things. Get rid of the filibuster.
Go ahead,
And the
do that.
Senate, go ahead and do that. And the Senate said, fuck no. And he asked, and they said no. And he asked again, they said no, because they know that if they went to Joe Biden during the Biden administration, and people said, get rid of the filibuster in the Senate when they had the control of the Senate, get rid of it, and you could do all these things. Joe Biden, who was or is a creature of the Senate, said, no, we can't do that. Now, if you look at it right now, people were all over his ass about it, but it seemed to be the right decision right now, isn't it,
Yeah.
guys? And that's the thing. Even these senators know that is no. And what it did was rankle the senators because he thinks that because he's president and head of the Republican Party, you do what I say, period. The
Yeah.
House, I've got the House. Yeah, you got the House because you got a speaker who's devoted to you. That man is a true fucking believer.
Yeah.
Okay. He thinks he's doing God's work, which is Trump. All right. But in the Senate, they are prideful motherfuckers for centuries. The Senate has always been like that. The Senate will do what they want and they will check a motherfucker in the White House because we are the United States Senate and you don't tell us what to do. We don't give a fuck if you want to primary us. They're not going to do it. And he's
No,
surprised. That shocked
you
the
know,
fuck out of him.
and I'll be honest with you. I'm one of those people that think they should get rid of the filibuster. Maybe not in this circumstance because of what might happen, but I think the filibuster is nothing more than an excuse to get nothing done. And
Right.
we get very little done because of the filibuster. It's an archaic uh, rule. It's not even the same rule as when they put it in the
No.
first place. Uh, But the Republicans will not get rid of the filibuster. And
No.
I wonder if that's going to cause some dissension between the Senate and Donald Trump. It has to.
It has already. He's not happy with them. They said, "Why
Right.
aren't you doing?" Because he put out you could do all this. Yeah, it doesn't mean we're going to hold the Senate forever.
Yeah.
And also, the filibuster was done in 1907, and at first it was 2/3,
Right.
and then in the 70s it was lowered to 3/5 by um, oh God, Byrd lowered it to 3/5 to 60 vote. But
Right.
mostly they used that against civil rights legislation. Strom Thurmond
Right.
loved the filibuster. Now, in the old days, you had to stand on the Senate floor and talk and
Right.
talk, and then before they would take a vote. Because the idea is a filibuster, but it is a vote to end debate, so you can go to a vote. Okay, if you don't have enough votes in debate, then it keeps going. And you can't bring the matter for a vote. That
Right.
was changed from people standing all the time and keeping doing it because that would people have to negotiate at that time. That was the idea of it. So this would end to just signing up something saying we're filibustering. And now it just sits because the debate's open. Debate on the CR stays open and it
Right.
keeps staying open. And whenever they're voting on the CR, they're not voting on the CR, they're voting to end debate so they can vote. That's what
Right.
people keep forgetting and not understanding how the rules of the Senate works. And the Senate has rules, and Donald Trump don't get it. And that's why in tradition, because there are a lot of old senators there. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know people are going, well, they don't talk. Yeah, they talk. Chuck Schumer talks to John Thune. They've known each other a while. Grassley talks to everyone. They've been senators for a long time before the bad days, and they talk. And I know they said, really? This you're going to let this dude? Have you ever let a president tell you what to do? That's how that works in the Senate. And that's why he's frustrated because Donald Trump still thinks he's a king. Let's be
Yeah.
honest, guys. He thinks his word is law, and it don't work like that. The Supreme Court gives him some immunity, but it doesn't work like that. And the Senate saying no. Also, the Senate said, "Hey, you can't do tariffs. It has to come through us." They voted on that, and they have
Yeah.
Republicans to do it because they're realizing because with these tariffs, which are stupid, he is ruining the economy. Little by little, they're realizing the problem again is in the House. There are dissenters in the House. I don't know what got up Marjorie Taylor Greene's ass, but she's dissenting and making a lot of noise.
Right.
But there's dissenters in the House. That's another reason he doesn't want the House open because there's dissent in the House against Trump. I mean, there's a hardcore, but there's a lot of Republicans are going, man, I'm getting shit at home. I don't care what Mikey says. I'm in trouble. And
Yeah.
we need
They're
to
all in
figure this
trouble.
out. They're all in trouble. And again, I don't think he's going to stop the elections. I don't think they can do that. I don't think he's going to federalize the elections. They would, if that was true, then why are they in panic? Why they're running around?
Well, yeah,
Uh,
exactly. And if they want to federalize elections, don't they have to have states agree with them to do that?
you have to basically change the Constitution. Constitution
Yeah.
leaves the elections in the state. It's in the Constitution, written. There's no
Yeah.
fucking interpretation of this bullshit. It's in there. The same thing. The problem we're having right now is that the House is basically given up on their right to handle the purse. You cannot do what he's doing with executive power. You cannot move money around because you wanna. Same thing with the defense. Yeah, they move money around to cover the defense payroll, which is coming again in 2 weeks, guys. How are you going to do that? Tell me,
Yeah.
huh? How are you going to do
Yeah.
that? But he's not supposed to do that. And they said, well, take us to court. Okay, they're not going to take you to court because of the military. They know they're not stupid. And you
Yeah.
did that on purpose. But the point is, the principle still stands. And that's the thing. Everyone who keeps supporting Trump have forgotten how the government works, or never were taught how the government works. They don't want. They think that Congress is an impediment for the president to do what he wants, but that was never the idea. Um, the idea is that the president may set a direction for legislation, but it has to go through the House and Senate to an
Right.
agreement, and then the courts look at it and make sure it's constitutional. That's been for 250 fucking years. Period. That's simple, guys. Welcome to Government 101. Okay.
Yeah. Do you think that with all that's going on, the dissension between Trump and the Senate, the SNAP not being paid out, and a lot of red states aren't going to get it, the healthcare issue, do you think we're getting to a breaking point with the Republican Party where they finally see the light and go, and I'm not saying all of them, I'm just saying enough of them will
Right.
see that what's going on is not going well, and they have no place to turn but to blame it on Trump because he's in control?
I don't know if they blame it on Trump, but they're going to have to sit down and go, we have to negotiate, whether he
Yeah.
likes it or not. they're going to have to open negotiations with the Democrats. That's the problem. I'm pretty sure in the Senate they are negotiating behind closed doors. They're not doing it out in the open. Okay.
Right.
It's just that, the Democrats are pretty simple on what they want. Most Republicans probably would go around it if they said, hey, well, at least let us get through this this open enrollment period so people
Yeah.
have health care, and then we can open the government, and then we can talk about the rest later on. I mean, that's a negotiation. That's an easy negotiation. That's what government usually does. The
But the
problem is
problem
when you
is,
have, go ahead.
the Senate can agree to whatever the fuck they want, but the House has to agree to it too. And if they aren't even coming into work now till October or November 9th now, I think
Yeah,
they're going to be out 5-6 weeks. And some people have even said that Mike said, well, we'll just keep it closed till January. So
yeah, he'll
nothing
do
will
it.
get done.
Yeah, he do it because he's determined. Trump is convinced that we're going to win. If we wait long, we're going to win. Okay, let's be clear, Mikey. Okay, the SNAP thing is the first domino. Okay,
Yeah.
you think in January people not having food is going to work for you? Let me put in another little tick. How are you going to pay for the military,
Yeah.
the military families? How's that going to work for you? And here's the kicker. There are already delays at airports.
Yeah.
And if the air traffic controllers finally say, fuck this, and walk away until they get paid, what then? Who's going to be in the
Exactly.
towers? Who's going to run it? I mean, just then what happens at that point, airlines are going to be putting pressure on them. That's corporations. Like you said, Walmart's already saying, hey, dudes, that's money. And we don't like losing money. Okay. The pressures that come from there. Kroger isn't a huge market, a huge conglomerate. They're going to put pressure on them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They think they're winning because they see it in the microcosm of in Washington. They see a microcosm of Chuck Schumer and all them. We're going to win because we don't like them. But the problem is the pressure is going to come that Mike Johnson is going to have to crack. He's going to have to
Right.
crack.
He's
He's going
got
to
to.
have to
But
because
it's
the
not Mike
pressure's on.
Johnson. It's Donald Trump's going to have to
Well,
crack,
yeah,
and he
Trump's,
may not have the stomach to do it.
yeah, or Mike Johnson will have to crack before when the rest of his his congressmen go, fuck, dude, we can't do this. We're in trouble. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. They truly believe that the only people being affected by all this are people who look like me or black folk.
Yeah.
And they think that's the winning strategy. You hear them all the time, the far right congressman. But you guys are still the minority. So are we going to go probably to the end of November? Probably. As we get closer to the holidays, I don't know because I can't see the pressure. You can't tamp down the pressure. Also, again, economically, if banks, if you have, they're laying off thousands of people in all these corporations,
Yeah.
federal employees, which is a huge chunk of the economy. Don't buy that bullshit. Those people get paid to service you, and they have loans, they have homes, they need to eat too. Okay? That pressure is going to come on the economy and banks. And banks are starting to feel it. Again,
Yeah.
we talked about liquidity. That's a scary thing because once that rolls, and then the stock market takes an entire dump because there's no liquidity in the banks, you end back to a crash like 29. Not what happened in 89 or what happened in the 90s. We're talking a total absolute crash that not even the safety valve is going to save. Why? Because you have incompetent assholes who see the world like this, who are now in charge, who have gotten rid of everybody around them that in the first administration says you can't do that. Why? Because of the consequences.
Yeah.
They got rid of all the people that said can't do that because of consequences. And case in point, Donald Trump wants to go to war with Nigeria.
Well, I
Okay,
think I think he got an email from a Nigerian prince, and he got taken for $20, so he's
well,
pissed.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you why they did it, and it just took me because I saw that and I thought about it. And I go, okay, I think we talked about this maybe a couple of months ago. Do you know outside the Oval Office, there's another office filled with evangelical pastors, religious consultants
Really?
who, yeah, who pray over the president and give him advice about religion and
Oh,
Christianity. You see, he's saying that because Christians are being prosecuted in Nigeria. Remember, evangelicals not only they have this huge kink, it's a prosecution victimist kink. They think if you don't like Christians, you're victimizing them. You want to persecute Christians. No, we want to persecute you because what you say is a lie and it causes harm, but that's a different cat. So I am sure that those people got to Trump because Trump is open to any suggestion right now. When you have
yeah.
someone who's had mild strokes and is kind of basically being propped up, it doesn't take much to drop a suggestion in his ear. And
No.
they did that. And this is what they're doing because this is a religious take on this.
Yeah.
Nigeria has no threat to the United States. They said they're persecuting Christians. Okay. I mean, have your diplomat talk to their diplomats, crack down on them. But no, he goes right to we're going to go in there guns blazing. What the fuck? And that's
Yeah.
the thing. You have these sects around Trump. Now we know he's ridiculous, and we hear him talk, but he can be manipulated easily, very easily. Okay, because they want
Absolutely.
certain things from him. Now, the problem right now is that they have convinced him that by standing against the Democrats, they're going to collapse because they have to feed their socialist, communist, Marxist base. And they are the only ones taking food stamps. So fuck them. Stand your ground, Mr. President, because that's the best thing. And they're finding out it ain't going to work soon. It's
No,
coming
it's
to
not
a
going to work.
head. And that's the thing. It's ridiculous. Every day we deal with ridiculousness. I know that we just talked about a little bit of that interview, but the rest of the interview is going to be ridiculous. We know that because
Yeah.
that's who he is. He's been a ridiculous man for decades. The
Well, do you
problem
think?
is, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, you and I talked about after he got elected, and how the Trumplefucks just don't learn a lesson. We talked about there. In order for these people to understand what's going on, there has to be an ultimate catastrophic crash of some sort, whether it be financial or otherwise. Is that what we're heading to now? Is that what we're
Yeah,
going to have happen?
yeah, we're all going for a ride
Yeah.
because there's not because we have to go for the ride. Literally, I mean, again, movie guy, we're on that rope bridge with Indiana Jones, and they're chopping the rope. And as the little guy said, "Hold on, lady, we're going for a ride," because that's what's going to happen, Mike. They're going to
Yeah.
all take
I
us
think
for a
so.
ride. Now, when they take us for a ride, and everything starts falling apart, that's when shit gets real for them. Because now they're not going to be able to control it. Things are going to happen. They're not competent to control it. Every time the economy has kind of collapsed, like under the Bush administration, the Great Recession, there were still some levers to control it and some competent people to control. Even the Goldman Sachs guy they brought in knew that they had to do some stuff to stop it. There is no one in this administration that's competent to stop a catastrophe. We're going to hit the ground hard, and it's going to be hard for all of us. And
Yeah.
that's a fact, guys. I mean, as much as they're going to be the first ones going, what happened? We're all going to say this, like we told you is going to happen. And now we have to figure out to get out of it. What happens next? I don't know. We may have to take shit in our own hands. That's
Yeah.
that's what's coming down to it, because the government
And
ain't going to help you.
no, and it's maybe
Not in
what it
this
takes
situation.
to get out from under the thumb of
I mean, if you want
the
lack of
Trumplefucks.
competence, you're the Cash Patel thing. You brought this
Yeah.
up, right? Do you know that turned out to be fake?
Yeah,
Bunch
I
of
know.
kids calling, just a bunch of kids making games. The investigation was going on, and like you do, hey, we got this red flag. We're going to look at it, and you put it on the director's desk. The director goes, "Okay, tell me what you got. Tell me when you got more plausible evidence, bring it to me and we'll deal with it." That's what an FBI director does.
Yeah.
Kash Patel, who is in competition with DHS Barbie. Let's
Yep.
be honest. DHS Barbie has set herself up as the premier law enforcement person in this country. And Kash Patel is a little Weasley guy who wants to get attention.
Right.
Okay. Pam Bondi the same way. So he needed one up on DHS Barbie to please Pam Bondi, and he looked
Right.
like an ass. And agents who were working on it going, "We're done. We're done because even if there was something, there is nothing because we can't prosecute it because you fucked it up and you
Yeah.
warned them." So they're saying there's nothing there. There might have been till you warned them and they disappeared.
Right.
This is what we're dealing with. That that could be something that could be huge, but because of incompetence in charge, whose only loyalty is to Donald Trump, this is what we have. I mean, when you have the Kardashians' newest show saying going, "Yeah, we never landed on the moon," is back up and running again, to the point that the transportation secretary is going, "That's not true because you're head of NASA too." But he comes out of his mouth, I'm going, "Hmm. Well, I saw the moon landing, so I hope it was, but ooh, I don't trust that guy." You see what I'm saying?
Well, if you're getting your facts from the Kardashians, you've
Oh
got
my God.
plenty of problems. You got plenty of problems. I'm going to wrap things up for the Rational Boomer podcast. We're at that point. Why don't you tell folks where they can find you?
Yeah, hi guys. Again, you can find me Binder 38 US on Substack, Binder 38 US in on YouTube. Again, there is a paid subscription on Substack if you want to support my work. Also, I'm still on TikTok, RJ12764 on TikTok. Go ahead and for some reason I'm up to almost 300 followers. I ain't doing
Nice.
shit. I'm just doing the things, and you follow me there. A lot of my videos are like 9, 10. If you see one, go ahead and boost it. I would appreciate it. Again, if you want to support my work, email me at kumquat6@outlook.com. I have a Venmo account. I would any donation would be great. But yeah, you can find me there. Still going to do my thing. I wish we could be more optimistic, but honestly, I don't know other than we just got to go for a ride
Well,
because it's going to be tough.
generally, I'm optimistic that ultimately we will come out the other side and we will start to heal. But unfortunately, given the ignorance of some of the people in this country, we have to go through difficult times for them to get a fucking hint.
And if you can, if you make a donation to your local food bank, see if there's anyone that needs help, like a neighbor, ask them.
Yeah.
Because the nicest thing you can do is to give them $20 to get them through a time
Right.
without any strings attached. Because the one thing that I'm finding out that contrary to what these assholes and these ghouls that do these videos, there are a lot of people reaching out to help.
Right.
And it may prove to pull everyone together to get through this. Doesn't excuse what they're doing. But if you can help to local food bank, and food banks do not want normally food donations. Quick side note, food bank donations have dropped because the Trump administration have stopped deliveries already designed, already scheduled deliveries of eggs, milk, canned goods, cheese. They canceled it.
Yeah.
They canceled it. So if you know a local food bank, they'll take cash if you can do it. I get it. I mean, it's hard sometimes because everyone's kind of scraping by. But if you can help a neighbor, if you know someone that's struggling or needs help, reach out because it doesn't hurt. A little bit helps. Everyone's grateful for a little help because they don't feel alone. Because the
Right.
hardest thing when you hit a hard time And it's not only the shame, trust me, there's a bitch of a lot of shame when you get down to the bottom line and you need help.
Yeah.
Because then you blame yourself. How did I get here? What did I do? Look what I've done to myself. But they always feel, everyone feels alone, that I'm the only person going through it. Just tell them you're not. And just be respectful. Even, I'll be honest, even if they're wearing a Trump hat, it doesn't hurt to be human in that situation. It doesn't, because we were taught better. We all were taught better.
You
And
would hope
those
so.
who are, yeah, and those who don't want to help, who are basically taking glee in this, are the ones that are going to be left behind with the rest of us. But if you find someone that really needs it, don't hesitate, or at least try to see what you can find for them if you can't do something physically.
Yeah.
I mean that because I guess the only thing we have left is that we're going to have to stick together. There's no one's coming, and that's what's left.
No.
So
Absolutely. And for those folks, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, a couple of shows before, I said, text me questions, comments, perspectives, whatever. And I gave you a number, and for whatever reason, that number doesn't work. I do have a number that will work now. So if you have questions, comments that you might normally email, it's going to be easier if you text it to me. That number is 952 522 1399. Once again, that's 952 522 1399. So if you have questions, comments, I'll read them on the show, and
yeah,
we'll talk about that stuff. So thank you very much, Will. I appreciate you coming on.
no problem, Mike. All right, you
Those
guys
of you
have a good night. You all be safe.
Absolutely. Those of you listening, I want to thank you for taking the time. Hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.